You know, as a pastor, I've dealt with some serious business. I've dealt I've dealt with some serious business. I've had to navigate through some very serious things that have been brought to me by other people to help them deal with it. Things that's been done to their family, things that's been done to them, things that they're going through. And sometimes you can't put a tag on it. And when I look at the world today, it's the same thing. Some of the things that you see in this world, you can't make sense out of it. You just can't understand it. What makes someone? What makes a Hitler? What makes him do the things that he did? What makes someone enjoy slavery? What makes them do that? What makes someone take and hurt a child, or hurt their wife or their spouse? Or innocent being? What does it make when someone goes into a school and does the things that they do? You try your best to try to put a tag on it, because in our humanness, we want to make sense out of it. You want to understand it. You want to be able to put it to bed in your mind, at least to understand why someone would do something like this. And I've come to understand you're going to find things in this life that people do that are atrocities, that people do to one another, that people level on innocent people that did no wrong, were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or someone that didn't deserve it, and something was done to them. And this, try as hard as we might, we cannot put a stamp or reason on it. And you know what I say when I find something like that? I say, it's just evil. It's just evil. And here's a definition for evil. It says profoundly immoral or wicked. Profoundly immoral or wicked. Someone that would do something to hurt someone else. It's immoral. Something that they did that was so wicked that you can't put your finger on it to say, this is why this person would do this. What would make a billionaire go and cut more and more and more for them to make more money? How much money is enough? When Elon made the Doge cuts to get more contracts, how much was enough? You can see it's not greed. It's evil. What does it take for people to not stand up when you get a woman that's shot in the head and she's shot in her chest, and the last word she said was, "I'm not mad at you," and you shot her. And then after you shot her, you called her a dumb bitch or something like that. And you sit here and we try to understand what would make people do things like that. You're not going to come up with an explanation. It's just evil. What makes a group of individuals take a 5-year-old and use a 5-year-old to pull a father out, and then you still take the 5-year-old and you lock him up in a facility? A 5-year-old. Think about the trauma that kid's going to go through for the rest of its life. Now, when you think about an organization, a governmental organization that would do something like that, the people that work for an organization that would do something like that, you're not going to come up with rhyme or reason for it. It's just evil. It's immoral and it's wicked. What makes a president? What makes a president execute these kind of orders? What makes a man? What makes a man who has all the money in the world still continue to enrich themselves? What makes a man execute orders to shoot someone, then call them a domestic terrorist, or to shoot a person with a gun in his pocket and still call him a domestic terrorist. What would make a man that would cut USAID that are killing tens of thousands of Sudanese kids? You can't put a tag on that. You can't make a rhyme or reason out of it. What would make a man stop health care for its own citizens in the country? What would make a man stop lunch programs and dismantle the Board of Education? You cannot. You cannot put a tag on what Donald Trump does. You can't. You're not going to make sense of it. News pundits and philosophers and theologians and history buffs are going to spend the next 20, 30, 40 years trying to make sense out of the things that he's done. But you're not going to make sense out of it. It's just evil. He's evil. He is immoral and he is wicked. And that's what he is. And that's the reason. That is the foundation for every single thing that he does. It's immoral and it's wicked. And I know that nobody wants to hear that, because nobody wants to accept that. Those that support him really don't want to hear that he's immoral and he's wicked. They're going to say he's moral and he's holy and he's honest and he's true, but it's not. What makes a man turn around and dismantle foreign policy to this point? What makes a man disrespect your allies this way? What makes a man put an Arab military base on U.S. soil? What makes a man take a $400 million jet? What makes a man make $1.4 billion since taking office while people are starving and the price of food is still going up? You cannot put a tag on that to try to understand it. It's just evil. Stop trying to understand why he does what he does, because the reason behind every single thing that he does is he is immoral and he's wicked and he's evil. And evangelicals won't say it because they're getting something from it. The evangelicals won't stand up to it because they're getting something for it. But here's the problem. When you support an evil person, when you prop up evil, when you lift evil up, when you hold evil on a pedestal, when you worship evil, watch it. Because you are becoming immoral and you yourself are becoming wicked. When you start to justify the actions that take lives and take civil liberties away and dismantle the Constitution, and when you start to elevate policies that are taking away food and education and rights from people who can't afford it, watch it now, because slowly but surely you're becoming evil.